Olivia Rodrigo shot to fame as guitarist Paige Olivera in the Disney Channel series Bizaardvark in 2016. She has since gone on to launch a successful music career, releasing her debut album, Sour, earlier this year. She has received some criticism recently, which might just be jealousy when all is said and done. Today, we are discussing whether or not Olivia is an industry plant. Stay with us to find out. First up, let's look at Rodrigo's beginnings. Olivia found fame as a child actress and demonstrated an early interest in music. After it turned out she was able to compose her own songs. What a talent! As we mentioned, she starred in Bizaardvark and High School Musical, the series. She was born in 2003 in Murrieta, California, to mom Jennifer, a teacher, and dad Chris, a therapist. She credits her mom introducing her to the White Stripes, No Doubt, and Smashing Pumpkins as influences in her music style. We love the White Stripes. How about you? As well as composing songs at an early age, she also took singing classes and competed in talent shows around California. Her early training clearly paid off, as this year, the lead singer from her debut album, Driver's License, made it to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became the first song to pass 1 billion streams in 2021. Quite incredible. Good for you, Olivia. What's your favorite song from Sour? So before we go any further, let's define what exactly an industry plant is. Stay with us. You've probably heard the term before without actually knowing what it means. Generally and unfairly sometimes used to describe an artist or group who has a major label backing their rise but presents themselves as a homegrown or independent act to create the illusion of an organic following. Stars who have come in for criticism as an industry plant recently are Rodrigo herself, Billie Eilish, Lil Nas X, Chance the Rapper, Lizzo, and even Drake. I mean, if Drake's getting hate, no one is safe, right? Criticism comes when artists appear to chase fame, which is usually the reason pop stars get into music, right? Also, industry plants are criticized because they usually give up their own creative freedom and acquiesce to the whims of their labels, giving up any individuality they might once have possessed. This is the main problem with industry plants. People want to see originality. Individuality and authenticity is super important in music, and especially hip-hop. So to be labeled an industry plant in hip-hop is a perception which is difficult to shake off. When Billie Eilish blew up a couple of years ago, the term was used to describe her due to the fact her parents are both musical and her brother co-writes a ton of her tunes. She appeared to come from nowhere, but there was obviously a lot going on behind the scenes to propel her to stardom. Would you define Eilish as an industry plant? Let us know below. So, can Rodrigo be defined as an industry plant then? Let's discuss. It has been hard to ignore the rise of Olivia Rodrigo lately, and you've almost certainly heard one of her jams from Sour. Unless you've been living in a jungle or under a rock, she's been everywhere. She's had a meteoric rise in the music world, and her hit single Driver's License made #1 in loads of different countries around the world. So obviously, the haters brought the hate, as no one can be successful without people getting jealous, which is just a fact of humanity. She was described earlier this year as the biggest musician in the world, which seems to touch a premature but close to 300,000 album sales, and Driver's License hitting 1 billion streams means she has at least thrown her hat in the ring. All this success has led fans and critics to question whether or not she's in fact an industry plant. A lot of people called Rodrigo an industry plant don't even know what the term means. You can be a success without being defined as an industry plant. It is understandable why people would call her this, small fame turning into overnight superstar. We think it's more likely to be the influence of TikTok, YouTube, and other social media platforms, which has led to her meteoric rise. It seems easier these days to skyrocket thanks to these tools, and now literally anyone can become a star, as long as you have a decent internet connection. And what about claims of her being a copycat? Stay with us. The front cover of Rodrigo's debut album, Sour, is eerily similar to that of Courtney Love and Hole's 1994 album, Live Through This. But as we have mentioned earlier, her musical influences from her mom come from that era. So is it a case of being a copycat or paying homage to a star of that time? The two are very different things. Love believes the young artist is copying her work. Is this an outburst aimed at trying to stay relevant? Love commented, "It's rude of her. She didn't ask, so bit of both. I dig manners," when replying to a fan who'd asked if she was mad or not. I mean, Kurt Cobain's ex doesn't have a monopoly on tiaras. Why is she getting so bent out of shape? Surely it's recognition of her work for someone to want to be like her. Let it go, Courtney. Rodrigo is free to take inspiration from wherever she finds it, right? What do you think of Courtney Love's claims? Does she have any reason to be mad? Let us know below. So who is actually backing her? As in the norm these days, Rodrigo has some heavy hitters in her corner, which is where the industry plant comes from. She has deals with Disney due to her young acting career, Interscope, and Geffen Records. Interscope has Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, and Machine Gun Kelly on its books, and Geffen has Lil Huddy and Jacob Collier amongst its stars. So, with these guys on her side, it's possible that the industry plant claims might just carry a little more weight. Are industry plants even a bad thing? Stay tuned to find out. It seems to us and a lot of other people that the term industry plant is aimed at superstars to try and insert a tiny bit of control over them. Good luck with that. The term sounds like it's a negative, but at the end of the day, it won't affect album sales as the fan base is already there. If the music is good and it resonates with the fans, then there's absolutely no problem. We see nothing wrong with having a good business plan and marketing yourself to maximize profits. I mean, after all, isn't fame and fortune the aim of the game? The only genre this might not be the end goal of is in hip-hop, pop, where authenticity is key. But if you ask Kanye and Jay-Z if they like being billionaires, I'm pretty sure we know what their answer would be. Not that these guys are industry plants, but why are we holding other artists down who have the sense to come up with a good business plan? The whole thing stinks of jealousy, and people need to have a look at themselves before calling successful people out. We think. What are your thoughts on artists working with big companies? Do you even care? Maybe Rodrigo is an industry plant, and maybe she isn't. At the end of the day, there's only so much record companies and marketing guys can do if the artist has no talent. An accusation which cannot be leveled at Rodrigo. Maybe people should try not being sour at a teenage girl's success and get behind her if you're a fan. If not, who cares? Let's look at some of their marketing methods now. As we have mentioned, Rodrigo has a pretty strong team in her corner, and her marketing team certainly knows what they're doing. In marketing of the album, they did a stellar job. Gimmicks for the album release included goodie bags being sent out to celebrities, complete with album merch. The only problem we have with this is that it was clearly done with the intention of those stars giving her a shout out, probably on social media. The integrity move here would have been to send the gift out to fans. Gwen Stefani and the Kardashians were some celebrities who received one, so maybe they missed a trick here, which is probably the only mistake her marketing team have made. They also came up with the idea of a sour hotline, which allowed fans to simulate being on the phone with Olivia. The ad aired in the middle of her appearance on SNL, where she was performing as a guest on the show. There was a sour car wash, where her top listeners on Spotify could come for a meet and greet with the star, and a Depop account where fans could purchase the actual clothes she wore in some of her videos, which is a little bit odd. All in all, her marketing team are working wonders and are part of the reason she is doing so well. And if this is what an industry plant is, then good for you, Olivia. As always, thanks for tuning in, and remember to swing by next time for some more fun reveals.